Dear brothers and sisters, through the readings this week, I come to know that the necessity of relational conversion, often described as a synodal conversion, stems from the fundamental requirement for the Church to undergo a permanent reform to remain faithful to its mission. This conversion is not merely an eternal spiritual change for individuals, but a collective and institutional process that redefines how all members of the church interact as journeying companions. A primary reason for the necessity of relational conversion is the need to reclaim the equal dignity of all baptized persons. As we know that baptism creates a true equality of dignity and activity, yet for centuries, a fragmented vision of the church persisted where the clergy were active and the laity remained passive. Relational conversion is necessary to overcome clericalism, an autocratic tendency that often treats the laity as minors under the guardianship of the clergy. By moving toward baptismal co-responsibility, the Church acknowledges that the commitment of every baptized person are indispensable to its life and mission. Relational conversion is also essential for establishing the Church as a site of ecclesial conversion. This requires a shift from a monologue that offers univocal answers to conversational methodology characterized by dialogue and mutual listening. For example, conversion is necessary to reclude a stifling monopoly of the conversation by a few to prevent the arbitrary exclusion of interlocutors, ensuring that the joys and the hopes, the griefs and the anxieties of all people are heard, and to address systematic injustice such as the unjust repression of the woman's creative voices and leadership potential. As noted in the context of African synods, a radical conversion of hearts and minds is required for the Church to practice what it preaches regarding reconciliation and justice with its own structures. Relational conversion necessitates a new way of engaging with ecclesial and social conflict. Rather than ignoring or concealing disagreements, conflict can be a sign of grace when it leads to a recognition of the other as subject. This requires a practice of parrhesia, bold, honest, and free speech. Relational conversion allows the community to wrestle with its agreements to reach a reconciled diversity that harmonizes differences rather than erasing them. This is particularly vital in precarious communities where resistance to injustice and the reclamation of the collective greatness are necessary for survival and flourishing. Finally, relational conversion must result in institutional reconfiguration. The current minimalism of canon law regarding the rights of the laity must be replaced by structures that foster collaborative ministry and accountability. This involves moving from decision taking by isolated authorities to decision taking as a joint process, implementing transparency and answerability for all ministers to mitigate the risk of autocratic power, empowering lay people to exercise their office of governing through obligatory and effective pastoral counsels. In conclusion, relational conversion is a vector of any synodal process. Without it, the church risks remaining an abstract and theoretical entity rather than a credible leaven for reconciliation in a divided world.